In this video, we're going to take a look at cropping images to a circle shape. So with this particular tool within Premiere, we are going to do some unique layering and some adjusting on the timeline. So to get us started here on this particular setup, JPEG in the background, Mount Rushmore here, and I plan to create my own Mount Rushmore of images that are going to come across the screen using keyframing, which you should all be familiar with. So the first image here I've imported is one of Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that onto my timeline. And unfortunately, it did not quite drop at the very beginning, which is fine, so I could adjust it there. So as you can see, this image is extremely large in comparison to my background. So the first thing that I want to do is just simply right click on it, and then I'm going to go to set to frame size, and then it's going to make it more manageable for me to begin the process of cropping this to a circle. So the first thing I'm going to do with this process is I'm going to make sure that I have selected my Mahomes image here, and then I'm going to come over to effects control, and I'm going to go to video effects, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on obsolete. And then I'm going to come down and I'm going to go ahead and select circle. The other way you could do this is you could type circle in the search bar and it'll come up with this same option. So then I just drag it onto my Mahomes image here. And then I have a whole bunch of things that popped up on my effects control panel on the left hand side. So if your effects doesn't show, just make sure that you toggle over either selecting effects controls and coming over and using the little drop down if you need. So the first thing I'm going to do, and you notice, is that it just made this random white circle, and that's just kind of the default. So the first thing that we're going to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says blending mode, and we're going to switch that from none to stencil alpha, and then it's going to change it to whatever kind of color the background is. So at this point it's basically just taking a small circle of your image, and so we need to make some adjustments to actually be able to recognize what we're working with. So if we come up a little higher here, and then we're going to go ahead and hover, click, and drag on radius. So at this point we can begin to make our circle bigger or smaller, however we need. The level above that is our center point, and this is going to allow us to center the circle on our particular image. So what you need to do is just kind of continue to adjust and move this around to where you got your image just about where you want it. Some additional things that we can do here, just like we could do with any media that's on the timeline, is we could come up to the very top and we could adjust our scale. So at this point I can make the circle bigger or smaller, and then I could adjust it left and right where I want that particular circle to go. So I'll just put him on George Washington there and just make some additional adjustments to where it's about where I want it. Okay? At this point I can do some additional adjustments here. If I want to rotate it and make it more parallel, I could click on hover on the rotation and I could move him to where he's more straight on. And then at this point, once again, make my adjustments to put him back where I need it to go, make it bigger, smaller, what have you. So make my particular adjustments. So then once we get our image, and you can do this with video, whatever, this is applicable to any media that you can put on the timeline. The next thing that I want to go ahead and do is just do those quick keyframings. So obviously at this point what I want to do is take my cursor, put it where I want Mahomes to be on the screen, and then I'll just go ahead and click on my stopwatch here for my keyframing. and then I will pull this all the way back to the beginning of the video and then do my second keyframe to where I will move him all the way off the screen. And so when I go to play my video, you're going to see Mahomes come across the screen there. I can slow him down if I want to. By slowing him down, I can just move this keyframe a little bit further apart, those kind of things. And remember, you can toggle and zoom in and out on here. So I can make this much faster by dragging. And so it'll be super fast that he pops on there, or I can slow it down and dragging it all the way to the beginning of my frame. Reset my cursor, and on my timeline, watch him come over. So that is the process of how you crop media to a circle shape. And once again, you can do this with video, you can do this with JPEG images, those kind of materials.